Good afternoon, I'm Tony Baklich, and I'll be talking about my strategic management coursework, which is focused on an American diner in Florence. To start off with the contents page, first we'll be talking about the background, then we will be focusing on portrait generic strategies, moving on to pestle analysis, then some operational strategies. We'll be talking about e-marketing, some risks, and in the end some suggestions as well. So starting off with background, it has been opened in 2011, with its first restaurant being in Florence. So it is 5 minutes walking and by car from the city center. So it's in a really good competitive position for the type of product it is. It is heavily inspired from the US, being a diner inspired from the 50s. It currently operates at 7 locations, 2 of which being a franchise, which has been created in 2014 to allow new investors to invest into the company while still regaining profits from it. So moving on to portrait generic strategies, what's important to mention is cost-wise, it only has indirect competition, so it only does have to worry about them being as competitive as other restaurants. So it means that they do sort of have a monopoly on the cost-wise, but they will probably not take advantage of that since they are trying to cater to a diner feel, which is on the cheaper side than on the more expensive side. So what is important to mention is that they are focused on differentiation, which is really good, and they are doing all of their marketing and promotion around differentiation. So that is a good choice to make. Pestle analysis, starting with political. So talking about the EU, so there are some benefits that you do get if you are in the EU. So you do have a more stable economy with the EU being able to provide funding if the economy starts going down. There is a currency share, so people who are visiting from the EU into Italy won't have problem with currency exchange and things like that. So, and also no borders, so easier access in and out of Italy for all EU residents. The largest problem for both political and economical is the tax that has been put there to help out the poor people. So people with lower wages do have lower taxes, but in the same manner, people who earn more or businesses that earn more will have larger taxes, going all the way up to 43%. And also there is a capital growth tax on all businesses, which is 23%. So this is not really good for the company. So they might be good if they try to think about moving their base into some other company, perhaps some tax haven in the future. Socially, again, being in the EU, they do have stable and normal wages for workers, but the issue arises when we talk about education and universities. So it has the second lowest education in universities for people in between 30 and 34. So the research has found that those people in Italy have only 1 in 4 of them have completed the university, which is really, really bad, but it's still an improvement on the 13-14% they had in 2003. Why is this a problem for the diner? Well, education funding is lacking for all students. There are large protests currently, which themselves might be a problem for booking and table offers if there are protests happening in the town. But also these are future customers, and if they don't have good wages, they will probably not be visiting fine dining restaurants anytime soon. Technologically, again mentioning the EU, they're very technologically advanced and they have the same technological readiness that the other countries in the EU have. So this is good because e-marketing and e-tourism are a very important part of the company, and they have been focusing on that, and they have gained a lot of benefits from that, even creating a community on Facebook. And now we can talk about the potential advancements, which I will talk more about them in suggestions, but it's good to mention that people might be ready in Italy for such actions. Legally, again, sticking with the EU, they have to follow some health and safety rulings from the EU. So the only issue they do have is the potential copycat problems. So the 50s diner, you can't really trademark that. You can trademark the company look itself, but someone might open a similar looking 50 diner, which could prove as a huge for direct competitions that they have not faced yet. Expansion to other countries as well might prove to be difficult, retaining the franchise and the trademark they have, because laws and rules might be different in other companies. Environmental, so Italy is in the Mediterranean, which means really hot summers and really warm winters. So this is really good for 365 tourism, as there are no times in which tourists can't access the site. So there are some problems as well. Italy being in between two tectonic plates, it is prone for earthquakes. It has volcano activity. It has fires due to hot and dry summers, which could close up the business even up for a month if the smoke or the fire is nearby Florence. Operational strategies. So firstly, what are operational strategies? So these are the things that people do daily. So as simple as clean up the floor at 8, to as complex as, I don't know, create a new website. So it's often neglected, but I feel like these strategies do have a huge value in the company. This company is a really good example of that, as I think they have done an excellent job in creating some great operational strategies. So starting off with longer working hours and weekends. So to cater to the younger guests, they are open up until 11:30 on weekends, compared to around 9:30 on weekdays. Unique guest catering is also there, so gluten-free options, vegetarian options, some options for kids. So they are showing that they want to, from their target audience, grasp as many people as they can and make them feel accepted in their restaurant. Some other operational strategies, so they have a lot of event coverage, which they are posting often on their social media. So they do have the Football World Cup. They did some events for that. Also, American events are a big thing for the company since they are American style, and not a lot of other companies are doing events for those dates. So 4th of July, Thanksgiving are all events that might prove to be one of the best working days in the year. Venues are bookable, so proms, graduations, birthdays, these are all different ways of creating new income so they can be covered from a lot of sides. E-marketing, again, they have done a really good job. They're mostly focused on Instagram and Facebook. While posting daily, they are involved with their customers. On Instagram, they do post pictures that people take in their restaurant, kind of creating a win-win scenario in which the customer gets promoted by being posted on the website, and the website gets promoted by the customer posting it on their wall. Some risks. There is over-tourism in Italy, and it's quite bad. For example, in Venice. Florence is also on a growth rate in tourism, so it might run into the same problem. The population of Venice has dropped by 50% in the last 30 years, which is not really a good sign. So this is something to really be wary about. Environmental issues, we have talked about them. The only thing I like to mention is the Po River pollution and in the air pollution. The air pollution from the Po River might prove to be a problem in the future, as it is currently taking up the entire Po Valley, so creating huge pollution problems in the future. Gamification AR, so starting off with Blipper, it is an app that allows you to bring things to life. So simply download the app, scan something, and it pops up as a real thing. So in a way, this could be a pilot project for the actual app that they might develop, the augmented reality app. But this is a low-cost, low-reward strategy that just might test the technological readiness and prepare it for the full app launch. An ordering app is also recommended, inspired by J.D. Wetherspoon's app. So allowing people to order from the tables. This is especially good if they're coming here with kids who are not willing to wait a long time, ordering beforehand or ordering while they're still sitting at the table could prove to be very beneficial for both the company and the customer. Also, table booking and availability app is also recommended. So once that guest leaves, the waiter should update the app with the table being free now, so it can be booked, or people can just check if tables are available before coming. Lastly, there is a bit more unrealistic recommendation. So America and Italy, the whole business could be thought as a pilot project itself, testing if Italy is interested in American style culture. So why just stop at diners? They could do drive-ins. They can do movie drive-ins. They could do ice cream milkshake shops, all in the 50s, 70s, 80s style. Also, maybe even a 50s style hotel. Fortunately, one already exists in Frankfurt. It has rooms dedicated to famous actors from the past. This one here is Charlie Chaplin. This is good to see because this hotel is doing just great in Frankfurt, and maybe even it opens up some collaboration potential with them. But all in all, that will be all. Thank you for listening.